Well, wait a minute. Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Carly, and this is Sierra. Say hi.
Hello.
And we are here today to talk to you about the cloud. So, first of all, I guess I had the realization this morning that I should say what is a cloud-based service? So this is just services that are offered over the web. So something you visit a web page to use usually, or you have a program that runs it on your computer, rather than having something physically there that does that very same thing. Like, for example, with phones, you can have what's called a soft phone, which is just a software on your computer that is a phone, and you can use that to make all your phone calls just like a regular phone, and you just have a headset that's plugged into your computer that you use for those calls. There's also, of course, email, cloud-based storage for documents for collaborating and all that kind of thing. And then finally, task management, project management, and communications can all be done over cloud-based services. So from a website or from a program. Yeah. All right. So also, why? Why is it a good idea to do that? A lot of it comes down to convenience, I feel like. Would you say so too, Sierra?
Yes, very much so. Very convenient.
Yeah, easier, faster, and simpler to use. One thing that's nice, they're always available to you, even if you are sick, and still check on it. Maybe someone goes on an extended vacation and you need them to check in. They can do that. It's always available to them. They can go down to the hotel lobby, even if they don't have a laptop with them, and log into the system and check their messages and get back to you about something. They're easy to implement, so most of the time they need very little customization. If they do need customization, it's maybe something that comes with it when you get it set up. I've had that as well, where as part of the setup of it, they customize for you a little bit. And then if you need to grow your business or shrink your business, maybe you have kind of a seasonal thing where you get more employees and then you get less employees again. It's very scalable. And easy to set that up with them ahead of time, and also get the benefit of maybe the number of people you have, resulting in a discount in the amount of cost per user, and then less to no outages. Many of these services are extremely stable, have been around for a number of years, and are now known to be fairly reliable. Versus having something in-house you can never really know if you can trust is still doing well for you or not. And then it's simple to use. So it saves you time. Oh, sorry. It saves you time, and it gives you a lot more that you can do. I mean, like the possibilities are endless. You can communicate with somebody really quick in a comment on a document, and then you can jump onto a quick video call with them to ask them a question. And you did all of this in the span of 2 minutes, and you saved yourself a half an hour meeting. It saves so much time. Don't you agree, Sierra?
Yeah, it's very efficient, and the fact that you can check do any of your stuff anywhere allows you, if there's an emergency in your company and you're on vacation, you can still handle that because you're cloud-based and you can access it anyway, which allows you to solve problems faster.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, those little times that you know, and it I think increases your satisfaction too, you and your employees, because you feel like you know what's going on, and they feel like you've communicated well with them, and it improves that relationship too, to have a tool that works well for you and is low frustration and easy for everybody. When you have adoption of a business tool on that level, it can really transform the business for sure. Cool. And then of course, there's often less staff time to maintain because of the fact that most of how it all works is happening behind the scenes, and you're not doing anything for that to occur. It's just set up for you ahead of time. And it can cost less too. So often a newer cloud-based solution is actually less expensive than in-house infrastructure, like when you're talking about a phone system, and local utility providers with email that they may give you as part of your internet service, while providing more options, a huge variety of different companies and products that are available out there. And so one of the things about the low costs, often there's a try before you buy, a free trial type of an option out there. I know Sierra and I have both experienced that before, where we get to, hey, we'll prove it. Let's see what it's really like, and use it, and really know before we even sign on to it that it's going to work for us. How do you feel about that, Sierra?
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you're looking for very tailored type programs, recurring subscriptions, CRMs, those types of things. They're very specific usually to an industry. So you want to make sure that that particular product works for you, and most of the companies realize that they don't want someone that it's not working for. So they'll let you try it and make sure that it fits all of your needs that you need.
Yes, absolutely. That's one really nice thing about that I've experienced in really all of the different cloud-based solutions that I've explored. That the salespeople actually, they can be very helpful to you, and not somebody that you know have to distrust really. They actually do want their product to work for you, and they want to help you find out if it will. So definitely don't hesitate to, you know, say get on a live demonstration with somebody, to try before you buy. Ask them about that. Ask them what kinds of deals you can get from them on their service and what they recommend for you, because oftentimes they are actually on your side about it. Yeah, so that's nice. And then month-to-month pricing is another piece that's often available. So you can see, you know, how much it's going to cost you each month, and it's going to actually be that cost. It's not going to have a variable cost like on a phone system with long distance charges. Those don't exist with any cloud-based phone provider. So you don't need to worry about whether or not it's going to be a different cost. It's going to be that cost each month. And then you can, depending on what you do, sometimes you might decide to go with a contract and get a super low month-to-month price, or you might end up wanting to not be tied down to a contract and be able to change again if it's not working for you. So you sign up for something that has no contract. And then also, most of the time, less equipment to pay for and maintain. That can be such a big savings, both in frustration and in actual cost, because, you know, whenever you have your own equipment to maintain, it can be frustrating when it doesn't work right. But if it's not really your equipment, because you've got a lease or a rented piece of equipment, it's as easy as calling them and telling them what's going wrong and having a new one sent to you, and so that can be one of the nice solutions too about being on a cloud-based provider, is that everything is kind of coming from them, and you have that, I guess that to not have to deal with that equipment as much. That's nice.
Which also,
another huge,
sorry,
oh,
which
go ahead,
also
Sarah.
saves you money with upgrades, because a lot of times your technology is only good for a year or two. And so then you have to pay extreme amounts of money to upgrade your hardware or any kind of, and when you're in a cloud-based, a lot of times they have every couple years, they'll send you new equipment or upgraded equipment. So that's a big savings down the road too.
Yes, a big savings and just a nice experience then, because you never end up with aging equipment and you're always using something that's newer and easier to use. So that can be super nice too. All right, so integrations. Most cloud-based tools can be integrated with other cloud-based tools. So that's another beauty of it, is because it's all online, and they tend to be integrated with other services that are related. So like Sierra said, they're often industry specific. So say you're looking for a CRM, you would find one that also integrates with your phone system, or also integrates with your email marketing, or is connected to what other custom system you might have for your business, because of the fact that a lot of businesses have very specific tools they use, like say in the medical field, or any field really out there that has like a specific tool that they use. Then there's a good chance that there's a cloud-based company that's creating something that integrates with that. Wouldn't you agree, Sierra?
Absolutely. For instance, my husband has a mechanic shop, and he has an invoice system that is very specific to a mechanic shop, but it connects to the DMV, so we can look up vehicles faster, which then saves us time, saves us money, allows us to have more precise records too. So there's just a very specific cloud-based system that has saved mechanics a lot of time and energy.
Yeah. I had one. It was neat. It was for like telemarketing and like making sales phone calls type one. And so the phone was completely integrated into the CRM. And so like you even make calls just directly in the CRM, and the recordings are saved and connected to everything. And it's all designed around having, tons and tons of phone calls being made, and having it all be shared amongst, instead of having these clunky old systems that they had with like a phone and a computer and some sort of weird recorder that's recording the call. They had it all integrated, and they just logged into a web page. So all they needed was one computer and one headset that hooks to the computer, and it was just such a transformation for their company. It was really, really neat to see. Cool. All right. So yes, integrations, a big part. And basically every cloud-based tool has social media integrations and some sort of connection to other tools that you use. Another great advantage of a cloud-based solution is security without having to do anything. So they're made to be secure, and they're constantly updated to continue to be secure by the vendor. You don't have to do anything except make sure that maybe you've updated to the most recent version of it on your site, or something like that takes you just a couple of minutes. And then you don't have as much of a concern about maybe a disaster recovery plan to like make sure that you don't lose anything. That's all taken care of by your vendor. You just have to make sure you've got the right feature turned on to protect you in that way. And it can be such a relief to no longer feel that need to save everything, and to have these aging machines that are holding such important data for your company, and not you have before you've lost it. Wouldn't you agree, Sierra, about the security of cloud-based?
Absolutely. I mean, these are huge companies that have the funds to hire a whole team that are directed to security to make sure, because if it gets out, if word gets out that they're not secure, no one's going to want to go with them. Security is really to the front of their business, and so they're going to be focused on it and at the edge of everything that's happening, which would take millions of man hours if you were doing it yourself. So it definitely is very secure. And then the backup plan. I mean, companies spend hours and hours just coming up with a backup plan. And if something happens and your building isn't available because it's cloud-based, you just rent another building, or you can move very quickly to another site and just be up and running with very little downtime.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people don't think of that, of how be once you are running on these systems. I mean, you could decide that, you know what, we don't need an office anymore. We just have everyone work from home and log in to their systems at their house. And you have, employees that will never leave because they love that they don't have to go to work. And you have, more productivity because people are able to do their work at any time. And, you can see some interesting things happen for sure. All right, so let's get into some recommended tools. So these are things that Sierra and I've used before, and in each of these specific areas, and what we, we think of them. So as far as a cloud-based phone system, I don't think I'll ever go back to I don't think I'll ever recommend to a client that they keep a traditional phone system after experiencing what it can be like on a cloud-based system. It's just, it is so much easier to use in pretty much every way. And every provider I've worked with so far has been wonderful. Sometimes I feel like there's this period of time at the beginning of any new phone system, or really any new tool, where there's these like pieces that aren't in place quite yet. And you have to figure those out before it runs perfectly smoothly. So sometimes, it can be a little discouraging when you change to something new because of that. But if you stick it out and you continually look at it and try to figure out, and of course we would be a great resource for helping with that, because we've done this a bunch of times already, to help other people with that. But it smoothly, it can be wonderful. And the phone is a huge example of that. Some of the things that people who are still running these older systems don't even realize it's possible that they can get some of those great features from those phone systems. Don't you think so, Sierra?
Absolutely. I mean, just the fact that for the most part, long distance is free. I mean, you can call anywhere in the United States, and then there's no service charges for that. And then there's a lot of, depending on the company, there's a lot of countries that you can call and it's still free, or significantly less in cost than any old telephone system, or even a VoIP system that you have set up for yourself. It's going to be less expensive. And the fact that you can have, if you want a actual hardware to phone, you can have that. But if you don't want to take up that space on your desk, you don't. So it becomes really easy, very flexible, to just fit in your life in the way that you want it to fit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then document storage is another place. Oh, I hate shared drives, old shared drives, networked drives, just on Windows, where you've got these folders that you try to open something and it says it's in use by another user. Would you like to open a read-only version? Or that it's so disorganized, and it's been, 10 different people have organized it and in different ways, and so everything's in all these different places, and it's so hard to even know where you're going and where things should be. nicer to move to one of these more modern storage solutions where you've got a nice search feature that finds things without having to know the exact name of the file, and that you can collaborate with somebody on your documents, and you can share something quickly and multiple people can have it open at the same time. There's so many different ways that it really reduces the frustration level and ease of use too. When you're working in Microsoft, sometimes there can be a lot of formatting frustrations, but Google, there's a lot less formatting frustrations. It's just a little bit simpler program. It does the same things without some of the clunkiness that you experience with Word because of how many features it has. I think sometimes it just gets kind of messed up a little bit because of all those things it has. That's Hira.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's just the economical part of not having paper everywhere. We all hate paper. There's always so much paper. But when you go into a cloud base, there's no reason to print out something because it's going to be there forever. To share it with someone, you just electronically send it to them versus print it out, send it to them, then send it back, and you have multiple versions of a document in print,
Right.
not knowing which one's the actual live one. So just the amount of paper going to cloud-based will, again, is a savings and definitely a savings and frustration too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And then there's always the dreaded emailed file. That one, when you send somebody to share it by sending them an emailed file, and then they have theirs and they make changes to it and they send it back to you. Now you have to figure out what's different about it. And yeah. So another nice area to move off of, say, using just a old Exchange email is email. In Google Apps for Business or Office 365 is even a Microsoft version of that that's mostly okay. I have some frustrations with it, but it's mostly okay. It's better. It's certainly better than using Exchange email servers. Most definitely in the reliability. There's never a time that email is down. Maybe for 30 seconds when your internet goes out or something, but email is always up when you have a cloud-based solution for your email. And that and the way that it connects to usually all your other services, so that you're not sending a file, you're sending a link to the file that is the same file, so that everyone's working on the same one. It's a huge savings to have that, and to have that connect to your other tools. That's really nice too. And then we mustn't forget Asana. So task and project management. It is so nice to reduce the number of email that you get. I know before I started using tools like that, I probably had 200 more email a day than I did after I started using Asana. I think it's changed everything. I mean, because you could have then, instead of having an email that was actually a task, I would just make a task, and that email could just have been how I received it. And then now it's become its own thing that's separate from that email. So now I don't have to save the email. I don't have to worry about where the email is, because now it's a task and I can track it that way, and I can add the person who emailed me to the task, and they can follow it and they can see it in the broader picture of the whole project that it's related to. Using a project management tool like Asana is absolutely transforms your work. Wouldn't you agree, Sierra?
Absolutely. I mean, the more you can be organized, we all know that, the better that you're going to function, the better you're going to work. Well, sometimes that's a little difficult. with little sticky notes all over your monitor and all over your desk to remind you to do this, to remind you to do that. Also, the other thing that I really like about Asana is that you have the progression that the project has taken. So if you run into issues, you can note it. And then the next time that you are working on something similar, you can always go back to that particular project and see where there was an issue. The other place where it works really well is in a team environment where you have multiple people working on separate parts of the project. And by having one place that everyone can go to keep their notes and let people know that they finished their part of it, it brings the collaboration home a lot easier, and then becomes more functional, allowing you to finish your projects in a more efficient way.
Yeah, agreed. And I feel like too, for a manager and for like an owner, to be able to have sort of that bird's eye view that you get from like the project progress page, where you can see how many tasks have been completed, what's been completed recently, different communications that have happened around the project, and a progress report from whoever's managing it saying we're on track and this is where we're at. To be able to just at a glance look at that page and know what's going on. Beautiful, you know, and it doesn't even require a meeting. It doesn't even require an email. It's one click away. It's beautiful. It's really nice to have that all taken care of. I mean, it's almost like you have this amazingly organized person who is creating charts and organizing what's happening, but it's all just happening because of that tool. And it's so cool. Yeah. Right. So now we can talk more in depth. We already kind of did here when we were just talking, but about each of these systems and how they are better because they're cloud-based. You know, like we said, with a cloud-based phone system, there's no equipment. You don't have some strange box in your building that's your phones. It's the internet. It comes from the internet. And if it's on your computer, it's just the connection to the internet on your computer. If you want to have a desk phone, you can have a desk phone, and that would be the only equipment you need in your office. But you don't need that either. You can just go straight computer soft phone. It's less expensive because there's no long distance charges. And oftentimes I've seen it's even still less expensive month-to-month charges. These modern amenities that you get, where your voicemail is sent to you in email. Sometimes you can have your voicemail transcribed into text version and sent to you in your email, written out and as a file that's audio. And then your fax is delivered to your email as a PDF, and being able to make calls from your smartphone as if you're using your desk phone, and to check your messages that way. It's really, really nice. Pretty much about that, so we'll keep going. And then document storage. It's really nice to cut down on those face-to-face meetings by being able to collaborate online and anywhere. And like Sierra said, nothing is ever lost. And as we said earlier, you know, it's secure without need for oversight. You don't have to run a bunch of backups of your online document storage. It's secure as it is. It will be there as long as you keep maintaining your services with them. And then email. Oh yeah, so these are some things that we didn't talk about earlier, so that's good. With spam filtering, this is something that's typically included, especially with services like Google Apps for Business. They have incredibly great spam filtering that is completely free and seamless. You don't even need to do anything to manage it. And then if you've ever run into an issue with a blacklist with email, you know how bad that can be. And if you've never run into it hopefully it's because you're using a cloud-based email system already, because that's one of those things that is much easier, because Google will do a lot of work to ensure that they're not on any of the spam blacklists. So your email will always be delivered that you send. Sometimes if someone doesn't receive your email and they tell you, oh, I don't know what happened, I never got your email, it may very well be a spam issue. If you have a service like Google, it's much easier to say, no, I'm sure my email was delivered. But if you have your own email system, sometimes that can happen where no one in your company can send emails because it's been blacklisted somehow. It can be really, have you experienced that before, Sierra?
Luckily, by the time I got into dealing with emails and IT services, it was all the companies I went were cloud-based, so it made it a lot easier. But I have heard of companies having a real hard time with their emails being blacklisted.
Yeah, it can really, I mean, it cripples your business to not be able to send any emails. You can't email your clients, you can't email any of the people you do business with. It can be terrible. I mean, you can't even email each other. It's ridiculous. So you've got to have a modern system where you're protected from that. It's not something you should have to stress about anymore. And then another thing is it's accessible anywhere. If you have a cloud-based email system, you can access it on your smartphone, you can access it on your home computer, you can access it on any computer. It's wonderful, and it's straight from a web page. You don't need to install anything. There's no, it really reduces the clutter, I feel like, on your computer, to have everything just be on a web page. It's much simpler. Yeah. All right. And so we talked some about this too, about task and project management. But more can be said about how helpful it is to keep your priorities straight and stay organized by using a modern task and project management tool. So, being able to file an idea away in your lists and not have it be something that takes up your time from something that needs to get done right now, today. That's a really great, solution you can have by using one of these. But to still, file away, still keep those things. And it's like, I feel like once I make that task for that thing that I just remembered, it's gone now. It's taken care of. I've done that, and I can forget about it and move on to what I really need to be working on right now. And so I really feel like that is a huge advantage. And to be able to communicate quickly, you don't need to speak in person or send another email to someone. You can just quickly have a quick comment on there, hey, update me on where you're at with this task. And then you will get an answer right away, because they're right in there working on their other tasks anyway. It tends to be the place where people are actually most active too, is where their tasks are. That's where they'll see the notifications too. And like we said earlier about being able to see at a glance the project's progress, what's next, and where everyone's at on a group project can be so valuable. Yeah. All right. So we're at the part where we tell you that we can help you with this because this is what we're passionate about, and we want to be able to help your business run the most efficiently it can, and have these kinds of tools at your fingertips. And we have done a lot of research on our own in the past and in the present to keep our I don't know, senses tuned to what the best solutions are out there for small business owners. And so if you need something, reach out to us. We would love to help you get the perfect solution for your business. It's really what we're passionate about, right, Sierra?
Absolutely. The more we can help your business be successful by the products and services that we can help you with, the happier we are, because there's nothing more exciting than seeing a business being able to really thrive without having the chains of technology keeping them from doing that. And technology is just a great benefit to any business. And really, businesses can't move forward nowadays without having some kind of technology, which can be a little overwhelming. And that's why we're here, is we want it to be not as overwhelming. We want you to be able to do what you're passionate about and not worry about the technology.
Definitely, definitely. We're always kind of working ourselves out of a job with every client, trying to get it to the point where you don't really need somebody to be watching over every second to make sure that everything's working, because it just is. You know, that's kind of our ideal thing is, you know, maybe we work with you a whole bunch for a couple months or so until your business is to a point where it's really running well. Or maybe we're on some kind of a maintenance plan where we do certain things for you at certain times. You know, we want to do that, and we want it to be just a maintenance plan for you, and we'd love to help you get there. All right, so we offer migration assistance. We would help you upgrade, ensuring you find the right tool for your business. And I'm always available for a free consultation if you wanted to find out what we would recommend, or find out how we could help you. You know, reach out. It'd be wonderful to speak with you. And thank you so much for listening to us and learning a bit about this stuff from us. You can always visit our website at technologyangel.net to learn more about our services and to find out about our next webinar. And of course, we're always available by phone. You can call me at 541-1128. And Sierra, you want to do your own phone number there?
Yes, you can always reach me at 541-761-4371.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been wonderful. And we hope that you've enjoyed our webinar today. Bye, Sierra.